There's a new driver shaft on the market that you definitely haven't heard of, and I think it's going to help a lot of players out. The best thing too is it's not that expensive. I haven't hit a single ball with this shaft yet, so we're going to hit some balls and see, is this thing really as good as I think it's going to be. So before I hit this thing, let's talk about it real quick. So the company that made this shaft is Fairway Finder Golf. The shaft is called the Prism shaft. It's 54 grams and it's pretty flexible. Let's be real. It whips. It's got a little wiggle to it.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Now for this driver shaft, do I think it's gonna be perfect for someone with my swing speed? I float around that 117 area, 117, 120 if I really try to swing hard at it on the golf course. I don't think this is going to be the perfect shaft for me, but I think this is going to be really good for the people with that 70, 80, 90-ish range swing speed. It's going to be something that's going to allow you to gain some speed because of that extra whip. It's going to help you hit a little bit higher, and that height is going to help you hit it farther. So that's what I think is the importance of this. This little extra whip, it's going to help you hit it farther. Now, from what I've heard, the reason behind building this shaft is because it's a cheaper version of the Autoflex. The Autoflex is a shaft that also is very whippy, but it's supposed to be very stable, which means you get the added benefit of that extra whip, but you don't have as much variables of the whip not squaring up the club face right. Like this, apparently it's supposed to be more stable, help you square it up, but also get that kick and that pop where you can gain some speed. Now, full disclaimer, with this shaft, with this video, they did give me a promo code, but they also said that any review is a good review. So I'm gonna test it at speeds that I think would be correct, smooth swinging, but I'm also gonna swing out of my shoes to see if it breaks because, well, it's super wiggly and wobbly and flexible. So we'll see. We'll see if it can stand up to swinging hard at it. So I got the flight scope out. We're gonna get some numbers with this. I'm gonna start out with swinging it pretty smooth. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be in like the low 100s. I wanna see kind of what the launch is and what the spin is. Basically what I get out of this and how, like, directionally, if it can be somewhat consistent. My only worry with how flexible the shaft is my dispersion could be really wide. Swung really easy that it flew 258. The dispersion's way better with this than I thought. That went 283. It's only 160 ball speed. This thing isn't that bad. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you can see how much that thing wiggles. I towed it. 274. So the first thing I'm getting out of this is it's like effortless power. Like, I don't feel like I have to swing very hard, but it's getting good ball speed and it's not that wide of dispersion. Granted, I hit that one way off the toe. You want to hit one? What'd you think?
Anything's fine for me.
Felt like a driver, went like a driver. I don't fucking know.
I just feel like everything is my fault.
So swinging easy with this thing, it feels pretty good. Feels like there's like effortless power in it where it's just whipping through. The dispersion's not too bad. Did hit one way off the toe, which went left, but that's called gear effect. I want to see, though, if this thing can handle swinging out of my shoes, basically. Because normally when it's this whippy, it can't really withstand that much club head speed, but we'll see. Okay. I went 294. I slipped. 300. It hasn't broken, they've gone straight. Those are a win. Okay, we're 3 for 3 on a rope. I went 301 in the air. I'm really confused. I literally thought these were just like, nope. Not the case. Sure. 295. Okay. It works on the range. I want to see if it works on the course. Like 150? So the thing works so well on the range, I decided to come out to the golf course. I just have to know if this thing works out here too. Because you know, everything works on the range, but does it work on the golf course? That's where it really matters. I'm already very surprised at how well this thing's performing. Like, there's a lot of whip. Yes. It's getting me a little extra kick. Yes. But the dispersion isn't like off the mat both ways, which is really surprising because most shafts that have this much whip, you miss them every which way possible. I mean, I was a little late on it. Probably right rough, maybe. It's kind of what I expected with how the swing was. I kind of held on to it because I was ahead. So I kind of said in the disclaimer, yes, they gave me a promo code with this thing. Yes, I get some percentage of whatever sales. But John, the owner, did tell me, he's like, dude, if this thing doesn't work for you, like, I don't care, make the video, post it, whatever. So I just want to say, like, bias-wise, like, yes, I could make money using this thing, or not using it, selling this thing, but that's not really what I'm here for. I want to make a video that shows how good or how bad this thing is, and so far, I'm finding how good this thing is. I'm really impressed by this thing so far. So this is where this drive ended up. Fairway is, I don't know, 6 paces over on the left. Call that 10 paces actually. Pin's right over here. See what we can do. Now this video is supposed to be just about the driver shaft, but I wanted to play the whole hole, so let's just... So here's another question I have, is can I flight this driver? Like, this is a hole that I would normally hit like a lower cut on because it's always into the wind, and you gotta hit it straight. Because again, water right, there's a road on the left. So let's see, can you flight this driver too? I mean, I kind of rolled over it, but certainly flighted. Well, this is where the ball ended up. Again, this video isn't about golfing, so let's just... So I'm in another par. The last test I want to do with this driver is to go to a hole that's generally drivable for me. And I know what you're thinking, Darren, you haven't hit a fairway yet. Well, you're talking to a guy who hits about 6 fairways around. I kind of just hit it in like left and right rough a lot. So this is right up my alley. So we made it to the drivable hole. This hole, 313 to the pin from your line just right of that bunker. I really just want to see if it'll still get there. Most of the time when I hit this drive, it lands right around the front of it. Like there's a big false front to get up it. It lands kind of in that upslope and then comes back down quite a bit of the time. I've hit this green a few times. Most of the time I'm just short. So let's see how this ends up. Oh, get a touch right. I think that's like pin high. So I'm honestly really surprised with this driver shaft. I was very confident this was going to be a great shaft for people in that 60, 70, 80, 90 mile an hour range with club head speed. I wasn't 100% sure it would perform at kind of the more top level speeds. Like, I swing slightly above tour average because tour average is 115. And I mean, like, I swung really hard. That drive is right, you can see it right there. So I mean, yeah, like really impressed with how this thing is holding up to these swing speeds. It's doing more than I expected. And now again, this video is not about me playing golf, so let's just... So that's all the holes I'm going to play today. So what is my final review of the Prism golf shaft? Now for me, do I think I'm going to play this? No. I like a pretty heavy golf shaft, and this, it's 54 grams. It's a little bit light for me. It's all about feel for me. Performance-wise, yes, it did exactly what I expected. It actually exceeded my expectations. I thought I was gonna hit this thing all over the map because of how flexible it is, but it was pretty accurate and the dispersion wasn't too wild. Honestly, it wasn't too wildly different from my own driver shaft that I was fit for. That's a good weight for me. It's 70 grams. So this thing performed way better than I thought. I think this shaft is gonna do wonders for everyone in that 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 range with the driver speeds. They only make this shaft right now in one flex, but you can tip it to make it a little stiffer. So this is mine is tipped, I believe, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. I will put it on the screen if it's any different or whatever it is. And that is what got me to this flex. It's like an extra stiff. Still, it's pretty whippy, but it performed pretty well for me. So yeah, for anyone, like if you're someone who hits a driver 200 yards, I think literally with this driver shaft, you could get up to 220. If you're a lady that hits it 160, I think you can be pushing 175, 180. Like, this is something that's gonna help you get a little bit more ball speed, a little bit more height. It's gonna help you optimize your distance with the driver. So if you wanna get one, check them out. I got their website link down below. I got a promo code that'll be right up here. The shaft isn't that expensive. That promo code's gonna help you save some money. And it's a good way if you wanna help me out, if you wanna support the channel, checking out their website, getting a driver shaft, it's a great way to support me. It's gonna help you hit it farther, which is that's the most important part. It's gonna help you hit it farther, but it's also gonna help me and gonna help Fairway Finder Golf. So again, very surprised with this shaft. It exceeded my expectations. And I think it's gonna exceed yours when you get one of these to put it in your driver. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. For anyone who's like, Darren, you didn't hit any fairways this whole time. Well, I filmed the outro on 5 tee, and then I hit the tee shot, and you see that golf ball right there? Boom, fairway. That driver shaft works way better than I thought it would. Way better. You just watched a whole video on it. If you're seeing this thing, you watched a whole video on it. But I gotta say it again, check them out. I am really impressed by this driver shaft. Really impressed.